Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate that. Let me tell you just a little bit about where we are with our company right now. Most of you who are viewing this video know a little bit about me, you know a little bit about the company. But because of the economy and because of the real estate market in general, we've taken some turns over the last year or so. And where we are right now is in the midst of what we call the triad approach to the economy. And basically what that means is we haven't given up anything with regard to the equity holding transfer. In other words, we're all about finding a property that somebody doesn't want and finding someone else who wants it and putting them together and then standing in the middle and making money in the process. In other words, if somebody is over encumbered in their property or for whatever reason just wants out, I'm always happy to take it. Our students are always happy to take it, as long as the owner will stay on the loan, leave the, if there is any equity, leave it intact for a couple years. We'll bring in a resident beneficiary or a resident owner of the property to live in it and make all the payments and handle all the costs of it for, say, 4, 5, 6 years. And at the end of that time, then refinance, pay off the original loan, and so on. Now, in that process, it really doesn't matter to us whether the property is over encumbered or not in most cases, because if it is over encumbered, then that means maybe the seller, the borrower of record, would be happy to cover part of the payment by maybe paying the property tax or something, which could be a lot cheaper for him than getting taxes due on his debt relief and getting deficiency judgments because of a foreclosure and so on. So that's our equity holding trust transfer package. It allows a buyer to come in without a large amount of money, sometimes none, and without having to qualify for a loan, and it allows a seller to rid himself of an unwanted property without having to go through the rigmarole of trying to sell it at a loss and so on. Now, step number 2, let's say that is not feasible for some reason. Let's say the property is just too far over encumbered, or for whatever reason the seller couldn't possibly contribute to the monthly payment, or whatever the reason might be. Then we're going to look at a short sale. We're going to look at doing an offer and compromise with a lender. We'll go in, analyze the property, inspect it, get a good feeling for what it's worth, and then come and try to offer as close to 85% of the property's distressed value to the lender. And then, of course, after that approval is available to us, then we'll find a retail buyer who can come in, and we'll try to sell it to the retail buyer for as close to 90% of the true fair market retail price as possible. Now, the spread in the middle is ours to keep. And we will always share that with our network members. Emerald members are 25% share, our Ruby members are 50% share, and so on. So it has become a very lucrative operation for us because there's just a ton of properties available, millions as a matter of fact. Now, another aspect of our business which we're getting more involved in has to do with debt elimination. We have aligned ourselves with a couple companies in the country who can do debt elimination by various means. One of them is the Living Free and Clear Company, LFC. Their forte is selling you as a homeowner kind of a do-it-yourself kit that says, here are all the documents you need, here's the timing for sending the documents, here's what you do if this happens, and here's what you do if that happens, and so forth. And that sells by them, not by us, but that sells for $49.95. And then another company that we work very closely with sells us not a similar program, but a similar results-oriented program where they do all the paperwork. There is no do-it-yourself involved. They handle everything themselves. They charge $7,500 up front to do it all and handle legal expenses that might come along later and so forth. And if they can't get the loan off the property, they give you back $5,000 of your $7,500 if they can't get the transaction done, say in 4, 5, 6 months. Then you get most of your money back. Now, that company is called 3ARC, and we are just now becoming aligned with them. And I've got some high hopes for them. We've got a lot of people who are very interested in having them seek the mortgage removal. Now, in terms of the mortgage removal, the whole premise is based on a couple things. First of all, a self-proving evidentiary information. In other words, they will challenge the lender to do what the lender said it would do in the very beginning, which is release their lien when the property is paid for. And the idea, one aspect of it is the property is paid for as soon as you give them a promissory note. And another aspect of it is they're going to need to prove up the original wet ink copy of the promissory note if it ends up in a legal situation. And virtually no bank has that anymore because they've all converted to the mortgage electronic recording system. And as a result, those wet ink originals are no longer available, and the law provides that anyone collecting on a promissory note must present as evidence the original note, and they don't have that. The other thing is that virtually every loan out there is littered with RESPA violations and TILA and HOPA. That's Truth in Lending, the Truth in Lending Act, and the HOPA is the Home Equity Protection Act, and so on. So there's just a tremendous number of errors, mistakes, and illegalities to the point that probably about 80 to 90% of all mortgage loans that have been taken out in the last 12 or 13 years are fraudulent. So it's a matter of proving the fraudulence and getting the loan off. Now, the one company that we work with, LFC, like I said, they'll give you everything you need to do it yourself. If other legal proceedings become necessary, you cover that. And with the second company that we work with, they cover all of that and they do all the paperwork for you. And they guarantee that if they are unsuccessful, you get back most of your money, $5,000 out of the $7,500. So with all three of those approaches to this economy, we see it as our network members and our clients and students and as just having the world by the tail, because there's nothing we can't do. We can take virtually any property by one of those systems, and in the latter one, we share the wealth. If we get a property that's free and clear, we have the owner put another hard money loan on it to get everybody paid off, and we share that wealth with our network members and so on. So it's kind of who we are. That's what we do. We're very successful at it, and I venture to say the best in the business. Thanks a lot.